Responding to my email that I sent out early this morning when I first got to work. And I've been meeting with stakeholders inside the campus, most of the day-to-day, different groups of staff and faculty and students. As a matter of fact, I have an alumni meeting in about an hour or so, meeting with selected alumni too that also asked to meet with me. So the last 24 hours has been difficult at NEIA, at New England State. You've probably heard word of mouth. We made some personnel changes, both staff and faculty, over the last 24 hours. Now the staff you might have heard of, and I'll address that second because I think most of you are here in support of the faculty, but I'll talk about the staff as well. There were two actions yesterday. The Art Institutes, of which there are 48 or 49 across the country, are in 4 regions, and there's a decision made on the staff side, this is not faculty, on the staff side, to regionalize some functions. That is, they're taking functions out of the campus, public relations, 1 IT slot, and facilities management, and placing 1 or 2 of these people at the 4 regions, each region. So they're regionalizing positions. That was across the system. That was across the system. All campuses that had those slots were reorganized yesterday. The staff members, the 1st of February will be their last day, and for the staff members that are qualified, they can apply for the regional positions as well, as they're qualified if they want the job as well. They got like 90 days notice or so, and they'll get a standard severance. The faculty is a different issue. That was clearly my decision here, and the decision of the executive team. Let me just set up some facts with you before I have Dean Souza talk to you about how we made the decision on who got notified yesterday. 2 years ago, anybody that's been here for 2 years or more, we used to have a student body of about 1,800 students 2 years ago. Last September, we dropped to about 1,600. As we sit here today, we have something over 1,400, 1,439 or something like that as of September. So we have a student body, of which you're part of, declining. We are staffed with staff and faculty, of course, at the higher number. Okay, because we use ratios of full-time faculty members to students by department. Not all departments have to have different numbers of faculty. We all know every department has a set number of students in them enrolled, whether it's photo, whether it's video, whether it's audio or whatever. And so we looked at those numbers and we found some departments were overstaffed with full-time faculty. Because we use one faculty member, there's no hard and fast rule, but we like to have a certain number out there. If it's 1 to 76, that's too high. If there's 1 full-time faculty member for, let's say, 17 students, that's too low. And so without building up that student body in that department, something's got to give. Something's got to give. And so we went through the math, quite frankly. We identified 4 faculty members, 2 in photography, 1 in graphic, and 1 in web. And they were notified yesterday this would be their last semester. Okay? We've offered them part-time work going forward, and it's the typical severance package and everything else. So, that's, now how do we decide who was going to get notice? We went on a seniority system. So we got the higher dates of the full-time faculty in that department, and it's the last in, like any seniority system, it's the most junior faculty members with time in service to the school. So those faculty members that were junior to the more senior faculty members were the ones that were touched yesterday. So it's data-driven by department, and then who was going to get laid off was based on seniority, because we know everybody's higher date, and that's how it worked. There wasn't any personalities involved. It wasn't, you're a good professor, you're not good. I mean, it was just clearly a seniority system that we used for the 4 faculty members, and they got notified yesterday. I'd like to turn it over to Dean Souza just a little bit, and she'll give you a little bit more color to it, because it was her department that, and we've been talking about this, it wasn't capricious and arbitrary. We've been looking at this for probably 90 days, trying to figure out, can we cross-level faculty if they have a skill set in another department? Can we move them over? What can we do to try to mitigate this? Because it's a real tough situation. And so we've been working towards. So go ahead and just explain a little bit of your...
I will give you a little bit more detail, and then we would certainly want to give plenty of time for you to ask questions. This was very difficult, but as the President said, we lost 400 students. Our student body went down by 400 students over the last 2 years. And so a balancing had to be made across the department. Something I know that you will understand and appreciate is a desire for equity. This was very much so about equity. To give you an example, if you're an animation student, your ratio of faculty to students in that department was at 56:1. That means for every 56 students in your department, you have one faculty member. Compare that with, and I'm giving you hard numbers here, with WDIM, Web Design and Interactive Media. The faculty to student ratio in that department was 17:1. So you see 57:1, 17:1. There is an inequity there. So if we have to make a decision, a very tough decision, that we have to have a reduction in the faculty, what's going to drive that decision? Looking at equalizing those ratios so that it's better distributed across the campus. Where is there the greatest need? And the decision was made looking at those statistics very, very clearly in numbers. Now, the temptation here is to say, well, we're reducing people to statistics. I know that no, it's all about equity. It's all about equity, and the decision is made based on numbers. Two things drove it. One, faculty-student ratios, first part. Second part is seniority. Absolutely looking at when was the person hired. And I think the most important part that I would like to convey is that it absolutely was no reflection on the contributions that those faculty members were making to this campus community. They're loved, they're well respected, they do an excellent job, they're engaged in their community. We know that. It's not that one was more engaged than the other, one had better credentials than the other. That is not it at all. It was based on looking at when were they hired. And the senior persons were first to stay, and the last ones hired were the ones that were cut. Again, very, very difficult decision, but I wanted to make sure that you know how the decision was made, that we're very transparent.
Do you have any
about
idea what these professors do in this department?
You let a computer do your work to like make such a
Do you have any idea?
Yes, I do. Actually.
Do you?
Yes.
You should have been like looking into their personalities rather than letting a computer.
Right. Yeah.
No.
A computer makes a decision.
Let's play with that a little bit. So then we could say, in following your logic now, and by the way, I do visit the classrooms regularly. I've been watching the
I've never seen you in the classroom.
Well, in fact, I was in the classrooms yesterday and the day before. It may not have been your classrooms, but I was observing classroom projects yesterday.
A couple days before all this goes down, I'm sure you want to show your face.
It's been a long time, but can I answer your question?
Sure. Do you have an answer?
Yes, I do, if you will let me speak. I think all of our faculty are wonderful. So if you're saying, did a computer make the decision? No, a computer did not make the decision. But I will also not stand in front of you and say this faculty is better than that faculty is better than that faculty, because I truly believe that our faculty are excellent.
But there are some faculty who are more beneficial for us personally than others.
Yes, especially the more so.
We have two faculty members who help everyone into a personal level.
They work the hardest for us.
Right.
They're always there. I can call them whenever I need them, and they will help me with my work or my personal life, and you're just willing to get rid of them without any numbers.
It's not just a business decision.
No, but if decision has to be made, I can't say that your faculty member takes care of you is better than another faculty member, because I really value all of them. I can't make that decision.
Our values are more important.
I don't think Steve doing. So what would you have it do? Turn it over to a student vote?
Yes.
You
Government.
turn it over to students, and maybe you should consider what skill set.
Why do you not think that's the right move?
We're the ones that pay.
Like $12,000 a semester here. Like we should have all the rights.
I think all of our faculty. I will say stand by the fact that I believe that all of our faculty are valuable. I believe that all
Yes,
of our
sir, go ahead.
faculty.
Just raise your hand. so
You
we don't-
guys, you stated earlier that there are too much students for the faculty to handle. And you actually didn't mention the photo.
Yeah, that was my problem.
Yeah, you mentioned maybe
I can give you all the ratios
Well, I
if you
want
like.
photos, I don't care about just
We'll get photos.
whatever.
All right.
But you're saying that we've lost students throughout the year, they've gone down
Right.
a couple hundred students. Now, how much has tuition gone up every year?
How much has the photo department grown?
All about money.
Kids are paying $96,000.
It's gotten so big.
A lot of money. And
The ratios again, were down across all. I gave you a sample, but I have, for example, right now we have, in advertising, it's at 40 to 1.
We didn't ask about advertising.
Photo right here.
We're not advertising.
There might be.
We don't care about the other departments.
Well,
We
there might be
don't.
other majors in the room.
But there might be other
Are
majors.
you all
I
photo?
understand that.
Anybody
A
photo?
lot of us are photos.
They're all
Some of our major professors are going bye-bye, that's not okay.
Right now you're at 34 to 1. You're at 34 to 1 is the ratio. That's
after?
after.
What's before?
What, before, you were at 23 to 1, and now you're at 34 to 1, which is more in line with what audio is at, what digital film is at.
But how